You already know the feeling. You plan out a highly productive day, totally motivated, and then you just end up mindlessly scrolling on your phone.
Or suddenly feeling this urgent, undeniable need to deep clean the kitchen instead. I mean, we've all been there.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to today's deep dive. We are skipping the basic productivity hacks today to look at an analysis of the book Resisting Happiness by Matthew Kelly.
Right, and our mission today is really just to explore the book's ideas on why we actively sabotage our own well-being.
Impartially, of course. We're just looking at the concepts he presents and how Kelly suggests we can defeat this internal enemy.
And just to set the stage, Kelly approaches this from a theological perspective. He's looking at self-sabotage through a spiritual lens.
Right, because it's not just a fancy word for laziness.
Not according to Kelly.
Yeah.
It goes much deeper than a lack of willpower.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Uh-huh.
Because he calls this force resistance.
Yeah.
And it's an active force, right?
It's a master of disguise. Sure, it shows up as procrastination, but it also morphs into fear, self-doubt.
And just a general drive for comfort.
Exactly. Resistance actively tries to keep us in a passive state. That version of us that just wants to be entertained and cozy, rather than putting in the effort to grow.
Which brings up his distinction between self-soothing in that passive state and actual fulfillment.
Yeah, building on that spiritual framework, what's fascinating here is how he introduces the concept of humans having an infinite God-sized hole inside of them.
And we constantly try to fill that infinite void with finite things.
Like money, status, the latest gadgets. But because those things are finite, they inevitably leave us empty.
Always hungry for the next temporary high.
He draws a really hard line between that fleeting external pleasure and true internal happiness.
Which perfectly explains why getting what we think we want doesn't automatically fix things. And there's a really relatable story Kelly shares about his own experience.
The homecoming dance.
Yeah. He was a shy, terrified 10th grader, completely paralyzed by the fear of social interaction.
But he didn't stay in that passive state.
No. A good friend pushed him to step out of his comfort zone and ask a girl to dance. Pushing right through that fear, that resistance, ended up transforming him into a confident young man.
It's proof that growth requires action, especially when we're afraid.
So what does this all mean? Like, for us, on a random Tuesday, how do we actually fight back against this force on a daily basis without getting overwhelmed?
The book outlines some very actionable advice, specifically adopting a 10-minute daily prayer process.
And this isn't just a vague meditation, right? It's highly structured.
Very. You focus on gratitude and then awareness. It is literally taking 10 minutes to scan your day and objectively pinpoint the exact moments you gave into resistance.
And the moments you beat it. Plus, there's that life-altering question he suggests asking before making any decision. God, what do you think I should do?
That question completely shifts the focus away from our own immediate comfort-seeking impulses. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the book is advocating for a massive mindset shift.
Moving from a life of my will be done, which usually just causes a ton of anxiety as we try to control everything.
To thy will be done.
And Kelly talks about creating holy moments out of mundane chores, like turning folding the laundry or taking out the trash into a purposeful act instead of just an annoyance.
It comes down to his analogy of the tourist versus the pilgrim. A tourist wanders aimlessly through life, easily distracted by every shiny object or minor inconvenience.
But a pilgrim lives purposefully, moving toward a specific destination despite the obstacles.
Right. A pilgrim with a clear path.
So what Kelly is really getting at here is that according to the book, happiness isn't an accident. It's a deliberate daily choice to slay that dragon of resistance and pursue the best version of ourselves. Take a second today and just ask yourself, where do you feel that sluggish pull of resistance in your own life?
What is it keeping you from doing? And that reflection leads to one final thought to leave you with. If resistance is a force that actively fights our growth, what if our moments of absolute worst procrastination aren't just laziness? What if they're actually a compass needle pointing exactly toward the